The stream is live.
Yes. 3 battles in a single day. Thank the gods for this, eh? I am Old New Dude, and she is.
I am the mother of Baggins, and she
I
is.
am Lady Thistle. And he, look at us.
Oh, you got it right.
Richard of House York. That's your stream-born son.
So the only one that got it wrong was me.
I mean, mine was the easiest, to be fair.
Yeah, it's the sideways ones that are.
Yeah.
The whole sideways thing is.
Yeah, there was a reason I gave you the easiest one, Lizzie.
You chose wisely. You chose wisely.
Welcome everyone to Hump Day Theory Day, and we are again joined on a Theory Day with Richard, which I love
Yes.
because they get all four of us together. Is awesome. Last Wednesday was without a doubt my favorite Theory Day. I think Lizzie, you said Sanji had messaged you, said it was his favorite. Also, I loved it. It was awesome. We didn't get too deep into it. We hit the high notes, said what we needed to say, and moved on to the next theory. Skipped some that didn't even need to be talked about. So, yeah. But you have the list, Lady Thistle. So it's up to you to where we go.
But I thought it was kind of funny that there was one last week that we all dismissed, and I didn't really believe it, but I decided to argue for it. I think I convinced one or two of you anyway.
Which one was that?
It was
I don't
Old
remember.
Hands is the Night's King, maybe?
Oh yeah.
That's the one we talked about. Yeah. That and who is it? Maester
Wireless.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I'm 50-50 on that. I love both of them. The Night's King I'd never heard before, and y'all know, I know Richard knows, I love a new theory. I anytime that we can open a rabbit hole and jump down into it, even after the live stream is over with, I'm sitting there still thinking about that rabbit hole on a new theory, and I love it. It is awesome. So yeah, anytime I hear something new, I love it.
Oh, and another one that we've had new recently, or maybe that was on the regular live streams, are John and Kat are supposed to get married.
Oh my God.
What honestly though, given the way we see the House of the Dragon doing the things that they didn't do, such as the original protagonist faking their spouse's death and being a bigamist, or anyway, the fact that they did that they specifically emphasized this concept that you would have the blood and the name if you did this merger, baby.
There is no way that she would have agreed to that.
Anyway,
You might have agreed to it, thinking that, okay, I'm going to kill this guy. But let's run through and say hey to whoever's commented so far.
yeah, Krista Crow.
All right.
Baby from Pizza Planet. I'll be back later. Sanji, hi. I love Theory Day.
Hey.
Eccentric excrement who we've been discussing. It is time.
Deck of cards.
Hey, good to have you back.
Sorry you had to leave Monday, but we ended it pretty much right after you left and the party left, so we ended it right.
Everything went to shit.
Yeah.
No party without cards. We all know it.
Exactly. All right, Lady Thistle, where do we go?
Did we end off on Joffrey's the cat spa? Is that the one we ended on?
I think so.
Yeah. We were going over the Littlefinger and
Mother Roy.
Hey, Mother Roy.
Robert.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yay.
That's
And
exciting.
Good. All right.
Good to have family visit.
Family visit.
Woohoo. So the next one on the list is Varys Blackfire. So
Ooh.
is Varys secretly
Have we not talked about this?
or
No, I don't think we have.
I
We
mean,
might have
this-
on our live stream before, but
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people kind of focus a lot on like where Illyrio came from too, because I think one thing I have heard is Sarah Targaryen, daughter of Jaehaerys and Alysanne, who goes over to Essos in her little Septon's outfit and builds an empire, and then her sons come back, and people I think theorize that Illyrio is from her, but I would buy Varys being a Blackfire because I think he would try to masquerade someone as a Blackfire.
I always thought it was Varys, who we like to call Dorcas, and Sarah. So Illyrio would therefore be Varys's brother-in-law, and that Sarah and Varys were twins or siblings, and maybe twins under the idea that George might be trying to show more of this idea that the twin gene is in the Targaryen, more from the Targaryens than from the Lannisters potentially, right? Anyway, I always thought that was the theory, and I'm definitely more on thinking that Aegon is a green rather than a black, because I like the green and black thing. So I know most of the fandom wants him to be a Blackfire and a black dragon. I want him to be the green of the greens and the blacks, right? But
how old is Varys? Do we know?
I don't know if we do.
We just see soft skin, plump.
Okay, I am 100% sure that there's Targaryen blood of some kind in Varys. The biggest giveaway is the shaved head, of course, just like Egg.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was picturing him as Sierra, Sea Star, and Bloodraven's children, but I don't know if that's chronologically possible unless it happened after Bloodraven went to the Wall, and that would explain possibly Varys's green seer or skin changer abilities that were brought on by him being castrated and left to die, and then visited by the three-eyed crow or something like that. It popped in the head.
Have we ever seen his nether regions? I mean,
it's like a Kindle.
Certainty that he is in fact a eunuch. He's a great.
Preston doesn't think he is. Preston thinks that there was a clue at the end of a dance that he's not a eunuch. Which the clue being that when he drops his act, he starts speaking in a completely different voice than he's ever used before around Kevin, specifically a deep voice, as if he's been pretending with his voice for all these years, and he actually has a much deeper voice than he uses.
Yeah,
I can get behind that.
We've never seen proof on page, and I think a lot of us say, like, if we don't see someone die on page, we don't believe that they're dead. But
we don't see his dong. We don't know if it's gone.
We don't know. Dangly bits.
Yeah, Westeros.org has no estimate of his age, by the way. I was curious because usually they have an age estimate. Usually they have an age estimate, and they don't have an age estimate for him.
Yeah. Thank you for the laugh there, Lady Thistle. I appreciate it.
I got you.
Mother Royne says Illyrio married Varys' sister.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
He has balls.
He's got balls. Deck of Cards says, where did that beard come from? By the way, Varys has no beard in Ned's chapter. He has balls.
Oh, I guess I should. On one of my actual theory videos, I had dressed up as Robert Baratheon, and for FakeOn, our book club is getting together in Ohio. I'm cosplaying, dressing up as Robert Baratheon. And I don't have the beard or the hair to pull it off. And Lady Thistle is actually going to have a kind of a fanny pack that has intestines sticking out. And I have the boar that steers me.
The boar.
The boar. So that's the reason. This is the kind of a rehearsal. Guts. Yeah, there you go. So this is just the ordered online just to see what it looked like. First time I ever put it on. Me and Lady Thistle decided that it needs a little bit of TLC, but just trying to have fun. That's where that comes from.
Yeah.
I do think eccentric excrement is correct. That was probably just a disguised beard. He's a mummer. He probably doesn't magically quickly grow a full beard. But
Or
Does
glamour.
he have
Well,
I think
here's
that
the
cards would be
thing.
facetious.
If he knows all of the faceless men's tricks of how to change their face, I know scrunching your nose up and puffing out your cheeks and all that stuff, but what if there's something magical about it, as far as possibly growing stubble or growing a beard, actually hair growth involved in that, to
No.
facilitate a new face?
Well, I was thinking glamour, but doesn't Ned, because now I remember this scene because it's one of my favorites, because Ned is so delusional and he touches his face, right? He touches it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be real. He feels the beard. It can't be glamour, right? Because glamour doesn't work like that, right?
Right.
Okay.
I would think that he would, if it was stuck on somehow, that when Ned touched it, he would feel the apparatus used to adhere the hair to the face. So I like that.
The same argument. It's not necessarily a full thick beard. It may be just the beginnings and Ned touching
like
it.
a 2 day old beard. So
Yeah,
that's even hair further apart. You know what I mean? If you got a 1 day or 2 day beard, there's a lot of skin in between those hairs. So I don't know what technique that they would use in that period that this is set in, basically, on how to apply the hey Beckons, how to apply the stubble, basically. Oh, nice call out the deck of cards. I didn't realize it wasn't a full one.
Unless the faceless man's technique can't be detected the same time. Well, I don't think it can.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, Varys isn't a faceless man. He's not changing his face, right?
Well, that's what Old Nuded kind of implied.
Yeah,
He knows all the conjurer's tricks. Maybe he knows the tricks of the faceless man.
I think he needs glamour tricks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
we do have Shay seeing through one of his glamours, so it's probably a glamour.
Well, and the way he describes Tyrion's disguise to him is the description of a glamour, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, but
All right, what's next?
we're all on board on him having dragon blood. It's just which way the dragon tail points, whether it's a Targaryen or a Blackfire.
Does anybody? I'm curious from Thistle and Lizzie. Does anybody dislike the Dorcas?
I love the Dorcas. That varies as Dorcas.
Yeah, no, I definitely
Love it.
don't dislike Dorcas.
Okay, that's. I didn't say that you fully buy it. Just do you dislike it? But okay, fair enough.
He'd have to come say
I
hi
buy
to
it
you
in
if he
that-
had to
I
like
buy
get
it
his
in that.
moment.
I agree with you guys that he's got to be somewhere. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's the
mean?
only one that seems vaguely, maybe slightly hinted at. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board. I don't see any reason why not.
right.
You know?
All right, what's next?
The next one is R plus L equals D. So,
Okay.
Ooh.
Danny.
Certainly, that's part of my theory. So I certainly support that.
That's
Yeah.
two.
I like it. I like it.
See, triplets are Targaryens episode
Right.
4.
So,
We probably don't need to rehash the whole video.
right.
Oh,
So
what
should
is
we
he-
just move
Yeah,
on?
I think
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah.
Right.
When it gets to the initials, I'm pretty much sure that everyone on this is in agreement. So,
Or at least aware of the evidence for the different ideas.
right.
So the next one is Jamie and Cersei are Aerys' children, which again,
See, episode
We covered
5.
this the other day.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie's
I
right.
don't buy that one. So
What's that?
I don't know that I buy that one. So
Redacted.
redacted. I don't know that I'm on board with Jamie and Cersei being Targaryens.
Okay. Now, do you see the imagery that George puts on the page when it comes to Cersei and the wildfire and her green dresses,
I thought it was kind of funny that on the last Valar Rereadus of History of Westeros, when they went through, they're like, I've seen a whole lot more of Cersei and Ares. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh, really?
yeah. Well, I mean, if you remember the very first rough draft that the publishers got from George, which I said it before, Jaime was intentionally supposed to be the king. And there are two ways that he could possibly be the king. The Lannisters rule everything, and Tywin is dead, so Jaime's the oldest. Or Jaime is actually Aerys's son. This is found out. I guarantee you Varys knows as close and in the ear as he was to Aerys who Jaime is. And he would have to have that Targaryen blood and legitimacy from people that knew who he was for him to be king. So yeah, I totally believe that they're at least in part Aerys's children. I know the Chimera conversation.
Mother Royan's asking about that, and we did have, or you guys did maybe. I might not have been on that one, but there was a. Maybe I was. I can't remember. But there was a live stream with where that theory was the topic of one of the main topics of the day.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what Link is doing, you guys. Like needs to be right here. He's got his paws up on my desk. Like this is how he's sitting on my lap. His paws are on the desk. He's like, this is my spot now. He's like Lex Luthor.
It's comfortable.
My dogs are not quite as comfortable to be in my lap as yours, I think.
Sorry about that. I thought my wife and mother-in-law had left like when I started this, and then somebody opened the door and I heard a deep voice. And I was like, oh shit. But no, it was them. They hadn't left yet.
Want to get down?
Sorry, what did I miss?
And do you not like the theory of them being Targaryens because with Tyrion Chimera they would all have to be Targaryens essentially? Yep. Like that's just too many Targaryens kind of deal? Is that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Too many secret Targaryens is basically the.
I feel like I have to choose between Tyrion Chimera and Jaime and Cersei. I know that that's not true, probably, but
what if? Ooh, what about this? Tyrion Chimera, Jaime and Cersei. Okay, so if Jaime and Cersei were the
different fathers
that made it through, and Tyrion is just not the successful twin that made it through because he like absorbed all the powers and became some of both. Like, I don't know. What if it's the same crazy situation?
There is twins of different fathers. There's a twins of different fathers phenomenon.
Well, it would be the same two men, the same two donors that would put it into the. I mean,
yeah, that's more common than a chimera with two different fathers.
Yeah,
twins of different fathers is more common than a chimera with two different fathers.
Well, I love chimera. I'm not willing to give up on that, but I do like that. Maybe Targaryens because it lends credence to what we just said earlier about the Targaryens being more susceptible to having twins than the Lannisters, like it being a Targaryen. But who knows? The Red Wine's got twins. Red Wine's got twins.
Isn't it the mom that's over here making twins happen, though?
Yeah.
Like
the mom that's making everything happen.
It's about how many eggs you're putting out at once.
Yeah.
Right.
Me personally, out of the three children of House Lannister, I have more faith in that Cersei and Jaime are Targaryens than I do in Tyrion being both. And this is the reason why. I tend to not like the obvious choice, but the more easily pointed at choice for that to be the correct one with George. Anytime that he lines up apples and then we automatically assume we're going to get apple pie for some reason. And then he lines up apples, and then we get lemon pie. I just think George likes to rope-a-dope people, and the imagery with Tyrion, the dragon dreams, all that stuff. It tends to definitely peg the needle in one direction, and then we get the subtle sometimes and not so subtle imagery with Cersei and everything. And then, I mean, you got some of the greatest swordsmen in Westeros over the years have been Targaryen, and then you got Jaime, who is hands down or hands less the greatest swordsman at the beginning of this story. I don't know, just I could go either way on it, but I really like the Cersei Jaime versus the Tyrion.
No,
Mother
tail.
Rowan likes the story of the tale being a reference to the Chimera type thing, right? And then deck of cards says, to be fair, it would be fun if Tywin was completely infertile and they're all Targaryens.
Like
Yeah,
Charles, I need to say, to be fair.
I like that deck of cards, but yeah. All right. Sorry.
All right, what's next? I mean, I don't think we're going to completely convince Lady Thistle of this, and we have a whole video people can look at if they want to see the case made. So let's move on.
Redacted.
Littlefinger and Lysa are the parents of Sweet Robin, is the next theory, which obviously, come on.
Yeah, I personally think I personally like that. I like the idea that George is doing this thing where he sets you up with one expectation, and then he goes to something completely different with your interpretation, and then it turns out that your first interpretation was kind of almost right?
Yeah.
And so the seed is strong being actually that he was kind of focused on his own problem.
Right.
I kind of like it.
Well, I mean, you got basically
Yeah,
the man shooting blanks and blanks and blanks, and then Sweet Robin, and then blanks and blanks and blanks. I mean, yeah,
I do think that's part of the point of Harry the Heir looking just like John Aaron too. It's just
exactly.
I mean, there's a strong family look there, and Sweet Robin doesn't have it.
Sweet Robin doesn't look like John Aaron. Sweet Robin doesn't look like Liza. I mean, yeah, he's definitely.
I think there's a lot of birds that do the cuckoo cuckolding thing, and I think the mockingbird actually is one of them.
What's that mean? They put their eggs in someone else's basket?
Yeah, cuckolding is actually a reference to the cuckoo doing that, but
Okay.
I think the mockingbird also does that.
What they do is they put their eggs in the nest. Like brown-headed cowbirds do this, and brown-headed cowbirds are massive, the babies are, and then the babies push all the other babies out the nest. Like once they hatch, they're like, all
like
right,
little Malara
later.
Heatherspoons.
Like,
Off you go,
it's my
down the
house
well.
now. Yeah.
Do robins do that?
No, robins are victims of it.
Okay.
Oh!
Sweet Robin.
Yeah.
Bye, Robin.
Yeah.
I have to play with the beard to be able to drink, so I'm not picking my nose.
Yeah, that really does make the robin thing feel way less,
It's even, ooh.
like an accident,
I think it's a hint, yeah. My sweet Robin, as she's raising she's raising the mockingbird.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I like it even more thanks to the stream. All right,
So we're definitely all in agreement on that one, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Oberyn poisoned Tywin.
Oberyn?
Oberyn Martell poisoned Tywin. I think that's a Green Hand theory. I feel like
There's Shay
Yeah, I think
poison.
so.
like that. That's why he stinks. That's why his body stinks.
Right. The
That's
idea
what I
being,
thought too.
Yeah.
yeah. The idea. Oh wait a minute.
I don't.
Or were
need
they
it.
the ones that disputed it?
They said Shay
Yeah, I
poisoned
can't-
him.
Oh, okay.
Because they're the ones that often mockingbird nests are often parasited by cowbirds. Okay. Cancer found to reject parasitic eggs in the urine. Yeah, right. The smell when Tyrion killed him is part of the evidence for this, right? But now that I'm thinking about it, I thought they were the ones that were always using the annotations to prove or disprove things, and the annotated iBooks say that the reason for the smell was them
pulling the coral out.
Well, it was Cersei that did that.
Exactly.
Right.
It's Cersei's
But
fault.
no. If you stop and think about it, he doesn't say that it's not poison. All right.
Right.
If it's poison in his bowels, that's the problem. And there's a bolt that goes there that's in the poison. And to pull the bolt out, now you're releasing the poison into the body.
Okay, that
Okay.
I buy.
Mhm.
It's no longer in his intestines. It's no longer in his bowels. It is now like a ruptured appendix. You just let the
it's
poison
Preston.
into the body.
It's Preston that has a video on this because he talks about how he carefully lists all the poisons that Pycelle had, or Pycelle lists all the poisons that he had access to and that he had, and he goes, and he never tells you what they. Hey Charles, he never tells you what any of them do, except for the one that shuts down all your bowels, right? So he decides it's important for us to know that, by the way, one of the poisons would kill people by making them always be on the toilet, and and so he's constantly chronically constipated, and so
excrement's got a point here, though, and this is what we're debating: is piercing his guts and no proper embalming. Which is what I think George was trying to lead us to, and was trying to vaguely say. But like I said, if there's poison in the bowels that's stopping it all up, and you remove that bolt, now like in the ruptured appendix, you've just introduced all of that poison into the rest of the body. And with improper balming, because they lay them there for 7 days for the 7 gods.
Well, the other argument that Greenhand makes for this being wrong is that it doesn't really match what Oberyn's trying to do, right? So Duran and Oberyn are supposed to be more on the same page than people realize and working together, and we know from Duran that he specifically wanted Tywin to see the destruction of House Lannister before killing him. Right. So he didn't. So Oberyn probably didn't want him dead, and neither did.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I do like their theory that Shay, which I lean towards, is they might be right if Alleras and Shay are twins, and Shay is Sorella. The death of Oberyn might have.
Or Toodle says Shay's maybe just another unacknowledged bastard.
Right. Yeah, I'm all on board for that. But the death of Oberyn might have accelerated, and in retaliation of, Shay was like, screw it, I'm here, I have the opportunity. I'm trying to remember her words.
Oberyn's gone, this is our backup plan, kind of thing.
Right, I'm trying to remember her words to Tyrion. Oh, but we can go now, or something like that, or we're free to leave. I can't remember, but yeah, I think it's too long between Oberyn's death and the on the shitter with the crossbow for it to be Oberyn. If it's anyone, I think it's Shay, or it could have been Varys.
Moment.
Tywin is too good of a leader, same as getting rid of Kevin. Varys or Dorcas could have gotten rid of Tywin. And we know Shay is an instrument of Tywin, or of Varys, or I think she is. Could have gotten rid of Tywin to increase the chaos in preparation for the young Griff crossing over to Westeros.
You think his own agent spotted his glamour and made him mad?
Who?
You just said Shay was working for Varys. I always thought she was more
Littlefinger.
I don't think
Littlefinger and Tywin, mostly Tywin, to be honest.
I don't think he was mad that she spotted his glamour. I think he was mad that she didn't keep up the charade. She slipped up in that moment.
Well, I think by pointing it out to Tyrion, I think she's basically dispelled it.
Right.
He seems really pissed.
Yeah.
I think he's pissed because she works for him and she fucked up right there in that moment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why
you weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
It's one thing for you to know that I'm doing glamour and see through it. It's another thing for you to spill the beans.
Yeah, like she's supposed to play along. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as the Tywin thing goes, like I don't need the poison. Like I've smelled a deer that was gutted improperly, and that's enough. You know what I mean? Like it's plenty. You don't need poison. All you need is to nick that bowel, and you're screwed. You know what I mean? Like you're done after that. Like it reeks.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. Yeah.
Now, originally, when I had read that, well, not originally, probably the second or third time, and I was sitting there trying to figure out who the hell Varys is while all this is going on and he's supposedly gone. Was he glamored as Maester Pycelle and didn't know the proper techniques of preparing the body for the ceremony, and that was the reason why. But I've shied away from that because now Richard pointed out Dorcas, so I quit looking to.
You had gone through and you'd said, well, actually, no, he seems to be doing the opposite of the things I thought. He seems to be actually helping and so forth. And that's true. He's actually surprisingly competent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was on Cersei. She shouldn't have pulled the quarrel out. Like she's the one that screwed it up by unplugging that hole. You know what I mean? She should have left. Pycelle would have left that hole plugged. You know what I mean? And kept as much of that stuff in the bowels as possible by leaving the air open. Like, so I blame Cersei, man. It's always Cersei's fault. If she can manage it, it's her fault.
Right.
Somehow.
This is true.
So you'd asked what Shay's last words were, and it was so I mean, what's her second to last sentence is my lord will be back soon.
Oh.
And oops, what's going on here?
We lost you for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. My lord will be back soon. You should go. Or did you come to take me away? Did you ever like it? He cupped her cheek, remembered all the time. Anyway, and then she goes, more than anything, my giant of Lannister. And of course, that's the big mistake, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it was that line. My lord will be back soon. You should go. Or did you come to take me away? That's what you were thinking of.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. The take me away part was what stuck out in my mind. I didn't remember the beginning of it.
Anyway, I'm not sure if it's all that relevant, but there it is. And Mother Royne says my father got a ruptured ulcer and peritonitis and never recovered. So,
I'm
Sorry to hear that.
Anyway, what's next? Got more?
Pew pew.
Oh, I got plenty.
You got theories.
We talked about A Song of Ice and Fire being post-apocalyptic sci-fi already, right? That's the next one.
We said, that kind of goes with our is there no magic thing? And I was, right.
And then the next one is Gorn's Way leads to the Winterfell crypts, which
I like that one.
Top-notch theory right there.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Although it does feel like we need at some point Bran's secret passage to come into the story. So I don't know if that's related or not, but he's got this. Even Maester Lewin didn't know that if you did this and did this, you come out on this other side of the wall and of the walls and stuff. Right? I mean,
you travel through the walls and go from one gate to the.
Yeah, you get bypass at least one of the walls, if not both, by some sort of secret passage that Bran goes through, and it's going from different levels. And because even Maester Lewin didn't know that, Bran was certain or something like that. Of course, our characters are often wrong about these things, but anyway, that's the one that I'm really kind of curious about as far as the various secret entrances and things with Winterfell is Bran's.
Well, I think there throughout this world, especially in Westeros, there is and I don't know if Lady Thistle had said this or not, but a completely non-stop cobweb of underground caves that connect.
The werewoods.
Yeah, the weirwoods.
Yeah, that's a good theory. The Pando theory or whatever, that all the werewoods are connected underground.
Right.
It's not my theory, but
Bart says Thierry
that's
says.
also
Sorry.
excellent theory. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah,
Deck of Cards.
Deck of
Yeah,
Cards.
he's connected. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
weird.
I've got the
That's
paragraph if anybody wants it, that in terms of Bran's secret passage.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is Bran's second chapter. It taught him Winterfell's secrets too. The builders had not even leveled the earth. There were hills and valleys behind the walls of Winterfell. There was a covered bridge that went from the 4th floor of the bell tower across the 2nd floor of the rookery. Bran knew about that. And he knew you could get inside the inner wall by the south gate, climb 3 floors and run all the way around Winterfell through a narrow tunnel in stone, and then come out on ground level at the north gate with 100 feet of wall looming over you. Even Maester Lewin didn't know that. Bran was convinced. It sure feels like there's somebody's going to use that, right?
Yeah.
If we see it for a reason, Deck of Cards said they're just the werewoods, but I think they're
connection.
Yeah, they're there for one another.
I think
there's 3
that says they all connect, right? Doesn't she say that?
And it's interesting that some of the weirwoods seem to be, underground or inside castles and things, as if they don't actually need any sunlight. That they're really just about blood, right?
I think that all the weirwoods are connected. There is a spider web of connecting caves, and also think there is a connected waterway from the pool at Winterfell. We hear water spoken. I know Lady Thistle. Yeah. So I think all 3 are true. I think the weirwoods, the caves, and the water are all connected.
And the stone columns in the Winds of Winter are actually petrified weirwood.
Right.
I think
I don't know if people remember that. There's a sample chapter.
I think you can add the shade of the evening trees to that as well.
Exactly.
Personal opinion.
Yes.
Like
Are
elf
also
werewoods.
connected. Yeah.
Well, is it All Hail the Night's Queen that says that that they were all connected, and that the whole point of the Hammer of the Waters breaking the arm of Dorne was to separate the shade of the evening from the weirwoods.
Ooh.
Was to stop a corruption.
The
shade of the evening is the corruption of the weirwood tree, and the arm of Dorne was broken to stop the. Something. Oh no!
You're back.
Yeah.
The arm was broken to stop, you said, and then you decided to demonstrate.
Yeah. The arm of Dorne was broken to stop the corruption from spreading.
I don't like that.
Oh, okay, I'm redacted.
Redacted? No, I get it. I'm considering. I've never heard that theory before, so I'm just considering it in the moment. But
so she has both. So she originally put out her own video on that, and she was kind of like going off the cuff and somewhat rambling, and then Amy Blackfire apparently saw it and got her on and wrote up a script together, and Amy read it on her channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a more scripted version, so that's probably the more polished version. If you want to see that one, we can maybe throw a link to it in the comments.
Well, the similarities between the shade of the evening and the weirwood trees are numerous, but just like the yin and yang and I just think that they originally started out as the same thing, and one of them has to be corrupted to turn from. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but to be just like the opposite. It's a white bark tree, and this is a black bark tree. This is red, and this is blue. It's like they're exact opposites. I don't know.
But the yin yang thing, like I'm so
Yeah.
stuck on that I can't dismiss the shade trees as corrupted. You know what I mean? It's the idea
Right.
Yeah.
that they're two, that you cannot have one without the other. You know what I mean? Love and hate. You
Right.
know, like hate is not a corruption of love. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work like that. They're
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
They're
I can see
one
that.
thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
can definitely see that.
Yeah.
and so you can't separate. So maybe that was the mistake. Like I could buy that theory that they
Mhm.
thought they needed to separate it when in reality, the whole is what's necessary. You have to accept
Oh,
the darkness in order to make it whole.
okay.
You can't cut it out and cut
Could
it
they
off.
have been at odds with each other and to stop a war between the Shade of the Evening and the Weirwood trees, to stop the conflict? Because we don't see roots from the Weirwood tree. We don't see Weirwood trees going through solid stone like in the Vale, and they don't go underneath bodies of water or salt water. Something.
We don't know that.
Well,
Yeah,
this is true. This is true. But I mean, could the arm of Dorn have been broken just to stop them two? Could those two have been the combatants of a previous long night? I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm digging rabbit holes, just popping stuff out of my mouth. But no, it's okay.
No, I like it. I like the idea that the Shadewood and the Weirwood trees are like chess players, like gods, made up of the collective consciousnesses, multiple, I suppose. But I don't like the idea that one of them is like evil and
Right.
has to be stopped. You know what I mean? Like that's where
Right.
it loses me.
Mhm. Well, I
This
mean,
pod first today, by the way.
hey, Pod.
Pod wins.
Yeah. Well, I've always theorized that there have been multiple long nights, and the theory is that the two grand players that are playing this game have to use what they have available to them, and like the hairy men, like the hairy people that you see scattered throughout the world, all have a lot in common. You have children of the forest that are kind of scattered throughout the world that have a lot in common, and each long night was battled with the available ammunition, for lack of a better word. The first one could have been the trees. Next one could have been the animals that came, and then the next one could have been evolve the animals like the children of the forest and the giants. And then after that, then you get man, and then you get different kinds of men, and then you get, I mean, I don't know. I'm doing a lot of rambling today, sorry.
No, I like the idea that it's like cyclical. You know what I mean? People talk about the second long night, like.
No, I think it's probably like third, fourth. I mean, we don't know.
More. I think more. I think it's been going on for forever. There's no real stopping it. You know what I mean? Like it's about preparing for it instead of trying to keep it from happening. It's about how you respond. Right?
Definitely.
That could almost go into the whole prophecy thing too, though. It's crazy how you prepare for
I think the powers that be are what drove genetic experiments around the time of the last long night. The Empire of the Dawn, the Bloodstone Emperor, the Tiger Woman that was his wife. I mean, there was a lot of experimentation, and I think that's what's happened to this world is as the long nights go, the powers that be keep experimenting on how to create a better weapon against the other. And then it like I said, it's gone from trees, it's gone to the animals, bigger animals. Then you get humanoids, like the giants, and then I would classify the children of the forest as a humanoid, but they have a lot of animalistic characteristics as far as their eyes, their skin, the I mean, one went bigger and the other one went smaller, but extremely intelligent. And then just more experimentation created different types of humanoids, whether Homo sapiens or whatever. And then you get experimentations on those specific humans to create the tiger people, the harpy. I think the harpy was an experimentation to create a weapon to be used. I think dragons were another experimentation to create a weapon to be used. It's all been the what is the military industrial complex for Westeros. Are the two great powers, and they just keep trying to create a better and better weapon to be used in the next long night.
Yeah.
What did always thought of it?
I always thought it's different subspecies. Aren't a gray variant south of Ashai and Sutheros?
Not that I
Or
know.
all close. It may just be the art in the app. I don't know if there's a gray variant in the south, but I do kind of like the idea that maybe maybe the divergence of the species was related to the fact that they got isolated or something, right? And so, anyway,
Yeah.
but I do feel like it's more yin and yang.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like, dude keeps talking about experimentation. Like, in my opinion, the emergence of all these different humanoid-like species is, I think it's more than possible. It's a matter of isolation. Like you said, during the long night, people get cut off from each other, and then rapid evolution is able to happen. It doesn't have to be some kind of scientific, somebody's messing with it. You know what I mean? That's something that's going to naturally happen when one population gets cut off from another population. They're not going to necessarily evolve in the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like environmental factors force to happen.
So y'all all three redacted me. I appreciate it.
Anyway, I tried to throw the video in.
Smile at his damn beard on
the video.
Let me drive it home for you.
I think I found the video for this. I'll post it in the comments when we wrap up. All right, let's move on.
If we didn't shame Bill just once,
at least.
All that happened from Gorn's Way leads to the Crypts. That's the last one we're on.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
So, this is who has Tyrek Lannister. Where's Tyrek Lannister, you guys?
Tyrek.
You with Littlefinger or Varys, or do the Tyrells have him, or the Faith, or
not the Faith?
I always bought the Dorcas theory, but then I saw the Dragon Demands arguments for Littlefinger, and it's so persuasive.
I haven't seen it, but
That
so another one
would get me.
We probably need to throw that in there too, then. But so his argument is that, well, first off, who benefits, and second, we've got some things like, for example, Littlefinger's men were the ones giving the details of the attack when Littlefinger supposedly left long before that, and then took for freaking ever to finally show up. And then he has his men giving all of the details of this attack that happened after he left King's Landing that he has no way of knowing about. But then you start looking at the benefits, and they're freaking amazing how many different benefits Littlefinger gets from this that you don't even think about until you start to look at it. He lists these things, and you're like, oh yeah, that did help Littlefinger. Oh yeah, that also helped Littlefinger. Oh.
Oh my God. I made a note. I gotta look that up.
I think whoever orchestrated the riot is the one that has Tyrek. Whether it was Varys because he wasn't there, or Varys knew it was going to happen and decided, oh, I better not go because
he definitely saw the danger coming. He's not incompetent.
Well, I mean, throwing shit at Joffrey's face, some crap's going to get started. And it only takes a couple of people in the crowd around where that happened at, meaning They knew where the crap was going to be thrown from to instigate the mob even more after Joffrey orders people. I mean,
they knew what would happen throwing freaking horse dung at that weepy little bitch.
right.
It sure seems like at a minimum, Littlefinger knew what was going to happen and all the details of what was going to happen at a minimum.
Okay, I spoke last week about the connection from Littlefinger to Joffrey. I think it is a hidden influence that is brought by Littlefinger's abilities. So, what if he guaranteed the Joffrey reaction through that same hidden influence to get Joffrey to do exactly what he did when he got the shit thrown to his head?
Well, I mean,
I don't think it's necessary, but
well, I mean, yeah. But I mean, you got to hedge your bets. I mean,
I don't think you hedge bets like that when you have like a specific list of people you want killed because, you know, you get so and so off of the Kingsguard, so you can move so and so in. You know, like the High Septon gone. That was Tyrion's. Tyrion picked the next one. But I mean, either way, like he had a very specific list that would, you know, it would behoove him.
Wasn't it Varys that told Tyrion who to pick for the next High Septon?
Probably.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, I go back and forth, but it's probably Littlefinger.
They don't pick the High Septon.
He did.
They don't pick the High Septon.
Yeah, he kind of did. And Cersei found out about it, and that's why she had him murdered. And that was one of the crimes that she was accused of, because the Kettle Blacks confessed that one of them did. I can't remember which one. But.
I mean, in Fire and Blood, we see a High Septon is chosen in Fire and Blood, and we watched that whole process go down. So
I think it's Osney, right? Osney is probably the one that did the killing, I think, because Osfrid is the captain of the guards, and Osmond is the White Cloak, and then Osney is the youngest. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, something like that. Okay. I think Osmond is the oldest and the on the Kingsguard, and then Osfrid I think is the middle one and the captain of the guards. Although he kind of loses that position when they start arresting Kettle Blacks.
I like how you're asking us, like, how are we supposed to keep it straight when George R.R. Martin himself can't even keep it straight?
That's what he gets for these names.
Anyway, all right. Are we ready to move on? Because again, we're not going to do as good a job as the Dragon Demands of listing the theories and explaining it, but I'll try and find that video and throw that in the comments.
I think we're better.
Mance is Rhaegar Targaryen.
Mance Rhaegar. Shout out Devil's Fingers. Rhaegar. This one's theirs. Let's go.
Look, I never considered this, but on this most recent read through with the book club, I'm like, you know, I do think it's possible.
Well, if you believe R plus L equals J, then the calls of blood and so forth that are tying Jon to Mance become tying him more to Rhaegar rather than Arthur, right? And then and I've certainly argued that yes, Rhaegar really was a great warrior, despite people like claiming he somehow had to fix things. I'm like, no. This guy defeated Arthur Dayne and broke it. I don't believe Arthur Dayne is able to fake tying somebody, a dozen times and then losing. Like, I don't think that's fake. I think he's really as good as Arthur. Like that's what you're being told, right? And so I do think that we need to realize that yes, Rhaegar is elite. He fought Robert for like hours before finally losing to him. He's this idea that he needs people to fake it for him to win. I'm just like, no.
Here's the thing.
He was good at everything. That was the point. He was good at everything he did, and he knew he must become a warrior, not because I don't even know what
desire.
You know what I mean? But I think it was about getting people to listen to him. I think he knew. I think he knew nobody was.
Yeah, we see Yeah, you got the black and red cloak that screams Targaryen that he can't give up.
The first
Even
one.
even the song "The Dornishman's Wife." Okay, well, I mean, granted, that's more leaning toward Sir Arthur Dane, but Rhaegar was married to a Dornish
Married to a Dornish
woman, so
Right. Right. So it still points to him too. Yeah. Absolutely.
it's the wife that's the Dornish, not the
Yeah.
Dornishman's wife. So I mean, it could go either way. I think it all relies on who John is. If John is R plus L equals J, then he's Rhaegar. That's why he keeps calling him bastard. But if it's N plus A equals J, then it's Mance. Then there's a blood. I agree. There's a blood tie between the two, and it all depends on blood. It all depends on who John is.
Yeah, and like if you think about what Rhaegar, the Rhaegar Lyanna Robert situation, the Dornishman's Wife is a great song for that too. You know what I mean? Like facing the consequences of your actions, choosing to do it anyway because you want to live your life the way you want to live it. You know what I mean? And fuck the rest. Like, it's big Lyanna and Rhaegar. If R plus L equals J, I agree with Dude that like the Mance's Rhaegar thing is kind of directly tied to R plus L equals J. Like they have to go hand in hand in a way. And if it's N plus A equals J, I'm all for Mance being Arthur Dane, I think.
Yeah. There has to be
episode 6.
Like I said, there has to be weight behind why Mance keeps using the word bastard. And it all depends on how they're related to John, whether it's John's father or whether it's John's uncle. I could see both. The father.
Oops, we lost him again.
I'm back. The father, I can see a little bit more calling him bastard, but in the same sense, you got the uncle that is pissed off because he knows that John is the legitimate son of Ned and Ashara, and for him to give that up, I mean, he's probably just pissed. So, I mean, like I said, whoever John is determine whoever Mance is.
Well, there's not really much. I don't see much debate here. We're all on the same page. It's right. So, what's next?
This is the theory which I don't know that much about, but the Ashford Tourney Champions theory that Sansa gonna end
the order.
It's like mirrors.
Young Griff or being betrothed to young Griff, right? Is the ultimate.
Yeah, that's so. Okay, I don't really think it works. I mean, I've heard it, and that you kind of have to stretch some things to make it fit and stuff.
Okay.
I see it working as far as the parallels of the tourney, but not for her marrying young Griff. Like I'm seeing in the tourney, like we see in the tourney, like the houses that are going to compete, and that lines up with the tourney at Ashford, right? That lines up. Okay. But I don't know about Sansa being betrothed to young Griff. I'm just not sure about that.
What was the first person a Lannister, correct?
In the tourney at Ashford? I'm looking it up. I'm on it.
Because the first one she's betrothed to is Joffrey. So if the first person in the tourney is a Lannister, then that puts, Joffrey would still be half Lannister, even if his father and mother were half Targaryen. It would still be half Lannister. So, but he's not technically a Targaryen.
As far as like having to match exactly, like,
isn't there one of them that's backward?
Okay. 5 champions: Lionel Baratheon, Leo Tyrell, Tybolt Lannister, Humphrey Harding, and Prince Valar Targaryen.
Okay. I guess its name would be the name Joffrey Baratheon.
First betrothed to Joffrey Baratheon. Then she's planned to be wed to Willis Tyrell. She marries Tyrion. Now she's betrothed to a Harding. So, I guess that's lining up. I never really looked at it like that. But,
Oh, I guess
what if they try to betray John?
That's what I was getting ready to say. If R plus L equals J is correct, then it would be John. I know, it'd break my heart too. But if Young Griff is the Targaryen in that scenario, then yeah.
And of course, people make that argument, and then they'll see it as that's the logical way things are going to go. Or Sansa and John, I don't see that at all.
No,
Even
she
if that were
would never allow that. She'd be like, "Ew."
No, I don't see that being the case, even if that wound up being true.
Now, if John is named King, okay, here's a what if. All right, the rabbit hole. If John is made King of Westeros, because people find out something or whatever, and if she was willing to marry Joffrey to be queen up until a certain point, would she still want to be queen if it meant marrying John?
I don't think not now.
No, not
now.
anymore,
Not
no.
knowing what she knows now, especially no. And
I always thought the point of the direwolf names was supposed to be that she's going to kind of realize the grass wasn't always greener on the other side of the fence and want to be the Lady of Winterfell and not be the queen. I kind of thought that was the name Lady was supposed to represent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that still doesn't rule her out of marrying John. I
mean, she could find a Targaryen, there could be, a Targaryen that might pop out, and that's fine. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll be Aegon. Huh. We'll all find out together, maybe.
Clearly.
Probably not.
Okay. Let's do one more.
I don't want to hear that out of anybody's mouth, Richard.
What?
Probably not.
Sorry.
Get out.
Sorry. I could get a shame bell on that one, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. My
fair enough.
Melisandre is Bloodraven and Shira Seastar's daughter. Love that theory. I don't remember exactly whose it is, but I've heard it before and I like it.
That's cute. Love that for them.
It would change how old we definitely think she is, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Part of this is the heart-shaped face, right? That they're both supposed to have heart-shaped faces.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes opposite and also alongside that Melisandre is actually Sierra Seastar or the daughter.
Real quick, deck of cards. That's actually kind of ruins the whole pattern, though, because if your argument is that Tyrion is a Targaryen, then you lose the whole pattern, because that he was the one that was filling the Lannister role.
Yeah, I think the theory basically is, because I think Jamie's and Cersei are secret Targaryens, that would make Joffrey a secret Targaryen. I think it's just the names only. Joffrey Baratheon.
Baratheon. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's just the name.
There has to be somebody named Targaryen. Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyway, sorry. Go back to the newer discussion. I apologize. I took us back one. Melisandre, heart-shaped face.
Heart-shaped face. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about it.
The heart-shaped face with an itty-bitty waist. Oh, never mind.
You're making that up. That's not even an actual lyric.
Oh, deck of cards says that Sweet Robin already ruins the pattern.
Yeah, it's
Why does it just say, "You're very Sweet Robin"?
The whole thing does feel like a stretch that people try to make fit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I do think that George is leaning heavily into the idea that this is a song. And when you get to repetitive parts of a song, artists will do this lovely thing where it seems like it's going in a certain way, because that lulls you into a state of expecting what's next. And then something changes, you know what I mean? And it gives that little interesting, you know what I mean?
Like I said,
I think George translates that into the story to make it more like a song, so it doesn't have to match up perfectly in order to rhyme and be intentionally similar.
A row of apples to apple pie and a row of apples to lemon pie.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a genius. It is known.
It is known.
Yeah. What the hell? What theory were we talking about? Oh yeah, Melisandre.
Melisandre and Bloodraven. I don't know.
S plus B equals M. The Red Star bleeding.
Does that give her time to do everything that she's done for being a slave that was
This is
sold
Yoke
to the?
Boy.
I mean,
This is Yoke Boy.
Okay, let's go over the things that we know Melisandre has done. We know that she is a Shadowbinder from a Chai, which I don't think you can learn overnight. So that's going to be a while. She was a slave at one point, which we think the slave as a child sold to the priest of R'hllor, the Church of R'hllor, and I think that was first, and then shadowbinding was second. But I mean, is 50?
But if she had a couple hundred years,
right? That's what I'm saying. If she was older than what her being the child of Sierra Seastar and Bloodraven, because that would put it at what, 100 years old?
Yeah, 100 years max. And yeah, that's less than, because, well, no, maybe not. Never mind. Huh.
What, Bloodraven disappeared when he was like 60 something? When was that?
So it all depends on how old they were.
Right. Well, there's a theory that she is the daughter of the woods witch that fixed Mance's back and put the silk in the cloak, that was actually Melisandre. And if the woods witch was Sierra Seastar, then yeah, but still, for her to be in that village to do that to Mance, then she can't go over and be a priestess of R'hllor and a Shadowbinder. I don't know. I think Melisandre's older than what that would indicate for some reason.
What does Yoke Boy say, Richard?
Oh, it's pretty long. I'm just reading through it. I was just. I wonder if they probably have an episode. I'm sure they've mentioned this on at least one episode. Radio Westeros.
But that's probably how because I watch their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably how I've heard of
It's got to be Radio Westeros has to have covered this, because I mean, it's Yoke Boy. So yeah. Huh. It's pretty long.
All right.
Maybe we can come back to it. We could all like look into it.
Yeah.
Look into it. Look into it.
Research.
Look into it. Have you met me?
I'll do it.
Look into it. I ain't gonna redo no research.
You have to give them specific homework assignments.
No.
Yeah.
The three of you can do it.
Oh, I'm gonna be on Nettle's channel this afternoon.
It's at what time?
Nice.
1800 your time.
1800.
Be your time.
Yeah, 5 p.m. here. 5 p.m. Central. 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Definitely give that a shout out and a look. Do we want to do another one, or is that going to be it?
I think you said it was the last one. We're already well over an hour.
Okay. Yeah. We'll leave it that as the last one. That way we can pick right back up on it after doing homework for a week. And do it. Because next Wednesday is the last Wednesday before FACON, right?
I'm leaving in a week.
Are you gonna be on the stream, Liz, next Wednesday?
Oh, I'll be on the stream.
You fly out that day, so
I fly out that night. Bullshit.
Okay.
Got to go all the way to Seattle so I can get to St. Paul. I have to go to Seattle with a 3-hour layover just so I can take a red eye and make it to St. Paul the next morning at 5:50 a.m. because we don't have an international airport here. Meanwhile, Airhouse Tyrell's like, "Oh, I'm flying straight through." Super happy for you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm excited.
We're excited. I can't wait. Just over a week.
Woo!
Woo! All right. Arya's Friday. Arya 5, something like that.
Oh, I forget.
Okay, it's an Arya, then a number. It's Friday.
Don't forget to like the video.
Yeah,
like find you.
Tell a couple of hundred people that you know. That would be cool. You don't have to.
Make
But
17 extra YouTube channels each. If everybody did that, there's 8 people here.
you tell 2 friends, and those 2 friends tell 2 friends, and then those 2 friends tell 2 friends. It's like
Highly overestimating the amount of friends that we have. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
It's
you only
already
got
9.
2.
I'm like, everyone's here except Jeffrey. He's sleeping.
All my friends.
Jeffrey?
Are here.
Yeah, same here. Jeffrey's sleeping.
Aria 9, Knight's Honor.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, that was it for Hump Day Theory Day. We're glad everybody was able to join us. I love these shotgun theories.
Yeah.
I mean, you cover some
Same.
distance. You don't get too deep into it. Hopefully, I don't start a rant that I can't finish. But I appreciate all you, Lady Thistle, Lizzie, Richard. I love it when you're here on Wednesday, even though I know you can't always do it, but I do appreciate you being here. Deck of cards, Sanji, Chris,
Good to see everybody.
Charles,
Charles,
excrement, Mother. Well, I appreciate all of y'all. And the Valencar, you catch me on rewatch. I do appreciate you too. Yeah, Green Bard. I know I just saw. I had a comment from him on the last Wednesday's video, so we definitely appreciate him.
Oh yeah.
Checking us out.
Don't
So
forget
yeah,
Pod was first.
Pod, yeah. Well,
I already said Pod.
oh, I didn't. But yeah, I agree with excrement. If you're not first, you're last. Their Pod. And we will see y'all Friday. Take care. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.